Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Atazawamia from GMS South Carolina camp. I want to first and foremost give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shemal Shai. Double honors to those great millstone talking this truth. And Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the truth and sincerity. Alright, I made mention about this, I think last week, before I said I was going to do a sit down on the topic about Jacob's trouble, because the time we're approaching is what the scriptures refer to as Jacob's trouble, okay, which is really the time of, or the hour of temptation, or to try all Israel, okay, because all Israel is all around the world, and the Lord is going to allow the so-called white man to bring in such things as martial law, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. You're going to have famines, pestilence, race wars, alright? You're going to have Third World War, a great time of great sorrow and tribulation upon, mainly is geared towards purifying Israel, alright, to see who is of the elect and who is not, okay? Alright, so this lesson is focusing on Jacob's trouble, alright? We're going to touch a little bit on the history, alright, to give you examples of, in the past, what happened to our forefathers in such a time where Esau, the so-called white man, came down upon our people, alright, to bring judgment on them and also to purify or try the righteous amongst them, okay, alright. So let's start with the scriptures. Let's go to Luke 24:19. Okay, because the Lord prophesied about these times coming. Alright, this is Luke 24:19. It says, "And he said unto them, What things? And they said unto him, Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and in word before God and all the people." Now we know, the brothers that's in the truth, the name of the Lord is not Jesus, it's Yahushua. Alright? So who you really call Jesus Christ, his name in the Hebrew is Yahushua, which means he the deliverer, okay? Yah meaning he, Yahushua means deliverer, okay? Alright? Scriptures call him a prophet, okay? Now the prophet spoke beforehand, okay? Let's go to Matthew 24:3. Matthew chapter 24 verse 3, it says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" Now we always touch on that word world right there. It's eon, speaking about a particular age, okay? Alright, an age is a period of time, an uninterrupted period of time. And it's talking about the world of Esau, so-called white man, when his time is up. Okay? The Lord gave him signs. Alright, verse 4, he said, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." Alright, so you got to be on your guards. Alright, this is Mark 13:3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled?" So when it said the disciples asked the Lord, it was Peter, James, and John and Andrew, okay? Because it said they asked them privately. And he said, what would be these signs? Okay? And he told them, don't take heed that no man deceive you. Alright, Luke 21:7, it says, "And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass?" Okay? Alright, that's the question. So this is Mark 13, and that's the same questions we asked him. Alright, but they've been answered according to the prophecies and according to the scriptures, okay? So let's go to Mark 13 and 32. Alright? It says, but of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Okay? Alright? Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. That's right. Alright? So we don't drop dates, okay? But we know, according to the signs, that we're close to the time of Jacob's trouble, close to the time of the Lord bringing pure hell and tribulation upon the nation of Israel, you so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native American descent, to purify you, alright? To know who's the Lord's elect in that day. Okay? This is Matthew 24:36. It says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Alright? Because, you know, you get scoffers, they leave remarks on the comment board. Okay? Or you might see them on the street and they always ask you, drop dates and all that. When is this? When is that? The Lord said he don't even know the day of his return. Only the Father does. Okay? Alright? This is Acts 1:6. It says, and when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Okay? Because the kingdom of heaven is only promised to the nation of Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American descent. Okay? So the disciples was asking the Lord after he resurrected out of the grave after the third day. Okay? They was asking him when he was going to give over the kingdom back to Israel. Okay? Alright? And he said this, verse 7, he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. Okay? Alright? That's right. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 1 says, but the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay? That's right. So the time of Jacob's trouble, alright, and the day of the Lord, when his second return, is gonna roll on the people as like a thief in the night. Okay? Because the Lord said this, Revelation 16:15 says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. The garments represent this knowledge, okay? The proper understanding of the scripture. Lest he walk naked, alright, meaning in his sins, and they see his shame. Okay? Alright? That's right. Okay? So, knowing the exact day, hour, minute, second, millisecond, we don't know that. Okay? But we do know the signs, alright, that the Lord gave us, and by those signs, we exhort and admonish you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to repent, which are the Israelites, to repent and believe on the Lord, as the scriptures say. Okay? And to warn them of these times to come. This is Mark 13:8. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. Okay, that's going into your race wars. Okay, because the Greek word right there for nation is ethnos. That's the same, you get words out of ethnos, alright, such as ethnicity or ethnic, which is talking about race, alright. And that word right there in the Greek, like I said, is ethnos, which means a collection of individuals of the same ancestor or genos, which the word genos goes back to race or a lineage or like seed, which would be Raza, Zariah in the Hebrew, and Sperma in the Greek. Okay? Alright? So it's talking about lineage on your father's side. Okay? That's where your race come from, or the people you belong to is determined by who your fathers are. Okay? Alright? So it says one nation shall rise up against nation, meaning what? Race wars. Okay? So it's going to be race wars, alright, prior to the Lord's return. Okay? And this is one major factor that's going to play in into Jacob's trouble. Because part of Jacob's trouble, which we're going to cover, is martial law and the implementing of the RFID chip. Okay? And they under a way martial law or the state of emergency can be implemented through the stabling of civil disorder. Okay? Alright, which we know is going to be civil disorder. It's going to be race wars, okay, and total anarchy out in these streets, which will lead to them implementing martial law nationwide in the United States. And then, therefore, it'll be implement what? All the executive orders, okay, that the president's been signing in, okay. The president becomes a dictator, alright. America goes from a so-called free nation to a police state, okay, and it's ran through a system called totalitarian system, which basically the president becomes a dictator. The new police force will be the military, and the laws that will govern the land will be those executive orders, and it will be implemented through force by the sword, okay. And they're going to implement that RFID chip, which is part of the Obamacare Act, which is law, which is soon to be implemented when the money collapses. Okay? Alright? So back to Mark 13 and 8. For nation shall rise against a nation, and kingdom against kingdom. That's your third world war. Okay? Alright? That's leading into your World War III. Okay? Which that's soon to happen. Which is basically Russia and their allies versus the United States, NATO, EU, alright, and Israel against Russia and his allies, okay? Alright, which would be what? China, North Korea, the Arab Brother League, who else? Iran, alright, Pakistan, India, alright, basically all the nations of the East that's in league with Russia. They're going to team up to fight against America, the state of Israel, and NATO, and the EU in this upcoming World War III. That's kingdom against kingdom, which is really talking about sovereign power states versus another sovereign power state, okay? And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows, okay? Now that word troubles right there is Strong's Greek 50:16, Tarachi, alright, which means disturbance, commotion, metaphor, a tumult, sedition, which is sedition means enticement of discontent or rebellion against a government, any action, especially in speech or writing, promoting such discontent or rebellion. Alright, and root of that word goes back to Strong's Greek 47:14, which is statis, which means a standing, and insurrection, which an insurrection means an act or instance of rising in revolt, rebellion, or resistance against civil authority or an established government, strife, uproar. Okay? And that's what we're moving towards, which will be what? Martial law. And it's written in the Holy Bible. This is 2 Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay? That's right. Woe means destruction. Alright? Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, what is this going into? This is going into what we got before: race wars and also civil disorder. Okay, that one people stand up to fight against another people. That's talking about your race wars. All right, and that sword and that destruction is talking about, the sword metaphorically is talking about what? The ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right, which is referred to in the scriptures as the glittering sword. Okay, and also known as arrows and the glittering spear. Okay, that's in the scriptures. Alright, and it says with swords in their hands, talking about what? The modern day sword, alright, for Esau is what? weapons, guns, alright? Any killing instrument that will be used when they implement, well, basically when these race wars break out and these people, so-called revolution, have a revolution against the United States, it's going to be civil war, okay? War amongst the citizens or the civilians of this place that's called America, okay? Just like you see over there in Egypt, alright? That's what you're going to see in the streets of America very soon, alright? 2 Esdras 15:16, it says, and there should be sedition among men, alright? Which we already broke down that word sedition, which is talking about rebellion in short. It says, and invading one another, okay? They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That's going into what? Anarchy, total chaos, and civil disorder. Okay, that's sedition. All right, enticement for that, but it's gonna go from speech. Like right now, you got people speaking such things, mainly amongst you so-called truthers, you so-called patriots, you say so-called Tea Partiers, you so-called oath keepers, what's the Constitution keepers, alright, that follow Alex Jones, alright, and other groups. They gonna rise up and try to overthrow this government, alright, which they got Obama in there, but they're gonna try to overthrow him, and that's gonna cause all types of chaos and madness out here in these streets, which is gonna give them the give Obama the full right to bring in martial law, alright, because that's one way martial law can be implemented, and they can be justified in implementing it when civil disorder, alright, or civil war is implemented with these people trying to take down the government, and also these race wars, okay, because that's all going to be happening all at once, okay. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now that's martial law, okay. When they implement martial law, they're going to shut down all the borders so that you can't go in or out of a city. A great example is what took place in Boston, okay, after the Boston Marathon bombing, okay. They shut down that whole city trying to find those brothers, okay, and they had locked down all the people and told them to stay in their houses. That was an example of martial law, okay, or similar to, alright, or a preview of what's to come, but it's going to be nationwide, okay, and it's going to be worse for you people that's in the cities compared to people that's going to be in these small ass towns, you know, excuse my language, alright. Okay, it says, verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, it said because of their pride, alright, which is hateful before the eyes of the Most High and men. But that's the reason why this place is going to get jacked up, because the scriptures say before a fall, pride goes before a fall, and a haughty spirit before, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay, so these people in America that reject the word of the Lord, that scoff and make mockery of us, the Lord is going to allow them to be taken when all hell break loose, okay, in this upcoming chaos that's going to break out, which is going to usher in martial law and all types of death and destruction, okay, upon the citizens here in the United States, okay. It's a lot, okay. This is 2 Esdras 8:50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that are in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, okay. Alright, you can't get no more prouder than you people that's occupying this land of America, alright, that don't believe in the Heavenly Father or His Word, nor respect His prophets, okay, the man that's set up to teach the Word, starting with the elders of great millstone and their fruit. You people, you got problems with us, so the Lord's He's going to bring judgment on you, because really you're not fighting against us, you're fighting against the Heavenly Father and His Son, alright, like it said in 1 Thessalonians 4:8, okay. And because of that, that's going to bring in this judgment. Okay. All right. It's a lot. 2nd Esdras 15:18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's right. What is that going into? That's going into the collapse of the dollar. Because when the dollar collapses, okay, everything's going to collapse in this society. And that's going to cause these people to basically go ape shit and start tearing shit up. And basically, like the scriptures say, invading one another. And your so-called good friend, your good old neighbor, okay, alright, they're going to turn on each other just to eat, okay? Because when that martial law come in and they lock down the city where you can't get food in and out of the city, alright? And plus the stores are going to be all, food is going to be out of places like Walmart and stuff. Because people going to panic. They're going to go buy up all this stuff, alright? That's going to cause people to riot and go crazy, okay? This is 2nd Ezra 6:22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, yeah. So big places like Sam's, BJ's, Walmart. Okay, these Super Buy Low. Okay, Piggly Wiggly. They still around. Walgreens, Food Lion, Harris Teeter, Public, places like that. It's just gonna get ran through. Aldi's, okay. When people start panicking, okay, you got great examples of that, like with the psyop with what was it, Hurricane Isaac, which really didn't do as much damage as it did Hurricane was that Sandy? Was it Sandy? I can't remember. It's a lot. But the one that really didn't destroy New York, but they had people leave their houses and stuff and go to these safe areas and stuff. All those people start panicking and going to buy up a bunch of stuff because it was all a test. And that's the same way you people are. You people been programmed to be consumers. So you're going to rush to the nearest place to store up on goods and stuff, and it's going to be chaos. Alright? And we already seen what happened with these people losing their wick and their status with the EBT in certain states. It led to certain little riots breaking out. Okay, so what you think is going to happen on a nationwide scale when the dollar collapses and all those people start going crazy, looting and robbing, like the scriptures say? It's going to be because of the lack of bread, food, and for great tribulation, the money collapsing, the race war, civil war, all type of anarchy and chaos out here. Okay, that's coming. 2nd Ezra 6:24, it says, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, that's right. So you're going to have people stop being a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Alright, and they're going to start riding on each other and showing their true colors. That's why we warn you, so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native American descent, to separate yourselves from these heathens, mainly the so-called white men and these other nations, and 2/3. If you're in the truth, separate yourself, because when we go further into this lesson, you're going to see that the 2/3 is going, a lot of them, that's not for you. Alright, they're going to give you over, give some of the brothers and sisters over to be persecuted and even put to death, alright, because of the great fear that's going to come upon these people. Okay, alright, so let me keep pushing. Alright, okay, 2nd Ezra 16:67. It says, behold, God himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. so shall God lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. That's right. Okay. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Okay. That great multitude, the wrath of that great multitude, alright, is talking about what? Going into the military. The military will be implemented to quiet down these race wars, seditions, civil disorder, the people trying to take down the president and the government by force. Okay, they're going to implement martial law, which is going to implement the military to be the new police force. That's why you see the police, they've been militarizing the police. That's why when you see examples of people rioting and protesting, all right, but you have plenty in the past 2 years all over the world, here in the United States, Canada, South America, Central America, Europe, all right, China, all over the world. Australia, when they break out, what they send out the police, and what they've been militarized, from helmets, shields, and they look like the ancient Romans, how they be in formation, and even their battle gear. Okay, all right, they're gonna be militarized. Okay, all right, and that's why the Department of Homeland Security has been stocking up on hollow-tip bullets. Okay, which are bullets when shot and they hit on contact, they explode, and it's like when it hits contact, it explodes into pieces, totally shredding up your body and dicing up all major organs, and it's just an instant kill. Okay, that's why they're known as one-hitter quitters. Okay, one and done, and they done bought enough bullets to basically kill a person 7 times over. All right, each American citizen. All right, from elderly to damn infants. Okay, and mainly that's set up to target you so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans. Such things as Rex 84, such things as King Alfred Plan. Okay, it's geared towards destroying you. Okay, because you're gonna be the main threat. All right. Okay, and it says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Going into the concentration camps, the FEMA camps. Okay, all right, the correction camps that they're gonna have to re-educate you people. They show you that in that movie 1984. Okay, when they went in there and they tortured that guy until he bent to their will. All right, they're gonna do that to you people here in the United States. And a lot of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, women, children, all right, that scoffed at the men of the Lord gonna allow a lot of y'all to go into that and be destroyed. And you heathens, it ain't no hope for y'all. You other nations outside you Negro, Latino, Native American men, women, y'all just gonna be assed out. Y'all gonna get destroyed out here. Okay, all right, and they gonna feed you the idols, because these elites, all right, which they want to bring in a new world order by this way. All right, and those camps, those blood, you people that's gonna die in those camps, you're like sacrifices unto these deities that the elite bankers worship, which is in purest form is Satan. All right, and that's gonna become the new one world religion, just pure worship of Satan. They're gonna destroy all these so-called religions that you people believe in, and they're gonna force you to worship Satan and to denounce the Lord. That's why under the one of the executive orders, or one of the laws that they're gonna be implementing, is something called the no-hide laws, which is basically supposed to be based off of 7 laws that Noah had, which that's all made up, but it's influenced by the Talmud and not the Bible, which the Talmud is a Babylonian mysticist book that them so-called Jewish people deal with. They don't deal with the Bible. All right, but they're gonna implement those things, and they're gonna tell you people, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women, to denounce the Lord. Okay, and if you don't denounce the Lord, they got executive order that allows them to execute you by means of guillotine. okay, which is according to the scriptures. So you people that's taking this as a joke, that's idle, meaning you just being vain, okay, you think this is a joke, y'all gonna be in them camps, man. And you gonna be getting tortured to death, alright, and your blood is gonna fuel that demonic vibration that they want to implement, alright, when they pushing this new world order, okay. I think it's a game, man. Alright, verse 69, 2nd Esdras 16:69 says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. And that's going in about you so-called FEMA clergy response team. We know about you pastors, all them men and women that's signed and lead with the United States government by means of the 501c3 charter tax exempt status, okay, they will be used as means to pacify the people and to guide them into receiving the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. Alright, that's why you notice all these people that's under the 501c3 charter tax exempt status teach against what the elders of Great Millstone and the brothers who's under them teach, and other brothers that learn from them that teach about the mark of the beast. These other groups are set up that's under the 501c3 charter tax exempt status to demonize us and to make us seem like we're conspiracy theorists or we bugged out or crazy. Alright? Okay? Because they're false prophets. Alright? And they're going to be used to influence you people to turn over the men of the Lord, as well as brothers and sisters that take heed to the word. Okay? Alright? That's why I said that those that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. And a lot of these pastors, alright, that's when that gig is going to be up. That whole madness of them pushing about prosperity and all this stuff all the time about money cometh and all this madness. People gonna be searching for answers in those days of what to do, and a lot of them gonna be found to be false prophets. And the end result, a lot of these pastors, you're gonna get put to death by the hand of your own congregation men and women. They gonna put you to death for lying to them and for trying to deceive them into taking the mark of the beast. Because a lot of them there's a lot of jakes that's gonna resist it due to the fact they just know in their spirit it ain't something they want to do. But a lot of you pastors, you gonna die and by the hands of your congregation, okay? And the worst of y'all gonna die by the missiles, okay? The ones that take the chip. But you got a lot of them that's gonna die by the hands of their congregation for trying to deceive the people, okay? All right. Verse 7, it says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Okay, now we already got the word insurrection, which means an act or instance of rising in revolt, rebellion, or resistance against a civil authority and established government. Now the scriptures tell you in Revelations, alright, that the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to go make war with the remnant of her seed, those that kept the commandments in the faith of that had the testimony of Yahushua. What is that speaking about? That's speaking about what they call the red list, the blue list, and the yellow list. Okay, the people that's on the red list, you can already chalk it up. When martial law is implemented, you will be the first that they gonna come get, which is what? Those that's labeled under the Project Megiddo as the people that's causing what they gonna claim. They gonna blame us for the things that's gonna happen. Okay, all right. The brothers that's teaching, because to them we're seen as terrorists. Okay, that we terrorize the people when we come out there and tell them that they gonna be destroyed. America's gonna be destroyed. Okay, if you want to believe and follow the ways of America, you're gonna be destroyed. So to the people, that's why the Lord said ye shall be hated by all men for his name's sake. So that's when that hatred is going to be at its purest, and then that's when a lot of jakes is going to be given up. alright, into the hands of those that's going to rise up against us, because the prophets, alright, Lord willing, I'll be counted as one, but the prophets are part of the elect, okay? They are what is the established government body of the kingdom to come. So that's them making insurrection upon what? An established government, because that's established in the spirit, alright, the 144,000, which is going to rule with the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai, which that is the government body of the kingdom of heaven. So they going to come looking and getting the man of the Lord, okay? Some of them, alright? You got people on the blue list. That's you people, alright, that scoff and watch our videos, alright, that they don't know exactly where you stand, if you really for it or not, but they gon' roll on you too, just to make sure, alright, to fill you out. Okay, are you an Israelite? Da 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 da. Okay, that's the blue list. That's you people that they can't really discern if you fully committed, like the people that's counted on the red list, alright, but or if you somewhere in between, okay. And the yellow list is just the sheeple. That's you people that's just gonna ride and go straight with this whole new world order, okay. Alright, they ain't even concerned about you, okay. Alright, but it says 2 Esdras 16:7, it says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Alright, you Israelites. And that, like I said, goes back to Project Megiddo. It says they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay, that's right. Okay, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. All right, that's going into what is it? The National Defense Authorization Act, the National Defense Resource Preparedness Act, which is all laws. Okay, those are two major laws that really give this government all types of power to justify their actions of killing you people. Alright, because all under the National Defense Authorization Act, all citizens of the United States is considered potential domestic terrorists, and America's became the new battleground. And all of y'all, and some, like I said, all of y'all in some form or fashion is considered an enemy, combatant, or a terrorist, or an enemy of the state. So when martial laws come, they're going to have to prove you people. That's why it goes into that list. Okay? Alright, but it says they should be like madmen. So they ain't going to spare none of you people. Sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Meaning what? Under the National Defense Resource Preparedness law, your stuff, all your electronics, your goods, everything you own will be at the use of the government. And under the National Defense Authorization Act, they can actually come into your house and remove you and send you to another location, i.e. these concentration camps, to either torture you into taking the chip, alright, or kill you, alright. So this is serious, man. Alright, 2 Esdras chapter 16 verse 39 through 48, it says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Okay, that's right. So you people that's taking this as a joke, scriptures say, woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Alright, you gonna mourn and weep when all this shit is happening. Alright, but to them the Lord says, blessed is they that, blessed are ye when ye mourn and weep, for ye shall laugh. Okay, why? Because we gonna rejoice and laugh at the fact that the word of the Lord is coming to pass, and that the kingdom of heaven is soon to happen. Alright, so when you people are suffering and being destroyed, we're gonna mock and laugh at your calamity, and we're gonna mock when your fear cometh upon you. And the Lord said he gonna give you people over to that which you fear the most. He gonna allow that to happen to you. So a lot of you women out there that talk that shit, because a lot of you women A lot of you women gonna die out here, man. A lot of you women gonna get raped. A lot of you women gonna get shitted on, man. And a lot of your children gonna die with you too, because a lot of you women have been totally wicked and totally rebellious and still refuse to repent. And a lot of y'all got to pay for all that blood that you done shed. Alright? Either getting niggas killed fighting over you or destroying babies by abortion. Okay? Alright? Or just being a disgusting whore, man. The Lord gonna kill a lot of you women, man. And He gonna kill a lot of you pussy begging niggas too. You old Captain Save-A-Hole bitch ass niggas. He gonna run through you too. The Lord, He gonna kill every single effeminate ass nigga out there, man. Alright, that's why the scripture said man should be afraid. Talking about you wussy bitch ass niggas out there that want to come to the rescue of these scabby hoes out here that will shit on you and give you over to be destroyed in an instance, man. Alright? You niggas and that woman is gonna die out there. Alright? Simple ass nigga. Alright? 2 Esdras 16:40 says, "O my people, which are the Israelites, you so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans." It says, "Hear my word," which only the elect is going to hear in the 1/3. "Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Meaning what? It's twofold. Number one, you got to have a mindset like a pilgrim. A pilgrim is someone that's journeying from one place to another. Okay? This ain't our rest. Like I tell you in Micah 2:10. This ain't the place that's set up for us to prosper and be at peace here. This is a place for our judgment. Now we in the time for this place for the judgment to come off of us, and this place to receive judgment for what it did to us. Talking about you so-called white people and you other nations that have inflicted the nation of Israel. You so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. Y'all gotta pay, so y'all gonna be destroyed over here. Okay? But to the brothers and the sisters that's in the faith at that time, you already should have that mindset that this ain't my place of rest. So we looking for the kingdom. So we have the mindset of a pilgrim, but you also have to be in that mode ready to move. Because the Spirit gonna have people moving, alright, to avoid getting captured by martial law troops, or avoid this part of the city that might be in a midst of a race war, or battling out against civil war against the martial law troops and the civilians. Okay, Spirit might lead you to find food, alright, where people ran because they was all scared and bugged out, but the Lord allowed you to find that place. Because you preppers, let me tell you something, man. You preppers, you preparing food for the men of the Lord and them that believe in Yahweh Shema Shai. All that food you storing is for them, okay? Alright? But you gonna be hungry. So all you so-called white people, alright, and all you heathens storing up food and stuff, you ain't gonna enjoy that food, okay? You either gonna get somebody gonna run up in your place, like you said, and kill you for your food, and I can take everything you have, or your ass is gonna flee out of fear, leave that food, and then the men of the Lord gonna get it, and they gonna be eating like the scriptures say, while you people starve out and die. Alright? Alright? That's right. 2 Esdras 16:41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. Alright? And he that buyeth as one that will lose. And that ties into you preppers. So you people that's trying to sell, alright, having stores and stuff, alright, these people gonna run into your stores and loot it. Okay? Alright, and he that buyeth is gonna be as one that lose. So like the scriptures say, we should be content with what? Our food and raiment. With godliness is great contentment. Okay? You should be content with just having your daily bread and having clothes on your back. Because that's the only thing that's actually really going to matter when all hell break loose, is eating and being clothed and having the proper shelter. Alright? Because that's the primal, the basics things you need. Alright? Food, water, clothing, alright? And shelter. That's going to become primary. Everything else is going to become secondary. But these people that don't have that mindset, they don't know the principal things in life, they're going to result to just looting. And they showed you that with images down there in Katrina when that flood came. Them people, simple ass niggas, was looting Walmart for 52-inch flat screen plasma TVs, but there's no electricity in the damn city. You simple ass niggas, people like that, they're gonna be destroyed. Okay, all right, they're gonna be destroyed. So it says, verse 41, 2 Esdras 16:41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, because you're gonna get robbed and looted. And he that buyeth as one that will lose, because your shit gonna get stolen. Verse 42, he that occupieth merchandise, as he that have no profit by it. That's right, the more shit you have, the more you're going to become a target in that day. Alright? And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. You got people building these big ass houses. Alright? People, you going to try to, people going to lose it, man. You already got people over there in California bugging out. Alright, in certain places of California where certain cities done filed bankruptcy, you got people foreclosing on their houses and they tell them they got to get out their house, and you got people actually ready to go heads up with the SWAT team to stay in their house. So a lot of you people that's buying these houses and stuff or building these houses, you ain't going to be able to live in there, because you're going to get either the martial law troops is gonna remove you from that house and use it, or somebody gonna break in and take it from you, or you gonna flee from it, and then it's gonna become a habitation for someone else or for a man of the Lord. All right, that's right. And it says, he that occupieth merchandise, as that have no profit by it. Okay, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein, and he that soweth, as if he shall not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. That's right. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor, labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, and the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Okay? That's right. So, you celebrity niggas, you think it's a joke. A lot of y'all know about us. Okay? And a lot of y'all already know, mainly the ones I constantly get on. Alright, y'all seriously gonna get destroyed. Okay, but to you celebrities, y'all gonna be marked men. Okay, marked targets, because y'all have these things that people gonna want. And don't be surprised, a lot of y'all gonna end up getting raped, man. Alright, your children, they gonna try to kidnap your children, hold them for ransom and stuff. It's gonna get wild out here, man. So all you people that think you safe, you ain't gonna be safe, man. Nobody's gonna be safe except the men of the Lord. Alright? And them that fear Yahweh Shema Shah, they're gonna be protected by the angels. But for the rest of you people, you got no hope, man. You gonna be assed out. Mainly you so-called white people. You gonna be completely assed out. You gonna be totally taken, destroyed. All types of evil gonna happen to you. It's gonna be just too, for all the wickedness you done did to other people. Alright? That's right. So let's go to Revelations 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that devil is talking about the so-called white man. Okay, a man can be considered a devil. All right, you got the spiritual demons, Satan. All right, And you got his physical counterpart, which is the so-called white man. Alright? And his descendants. They are known as the wicked. They are known as Satan. Alright? And they're also known as the devil, according to the Bible. Okay? Alright? You see right now, the so-called white man, his power structure is falling. So when it starts to fall, he's going to come with great wrath, alright, upon you so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why they got Obama in the office, alright, as a means to fuel that hatred that the so-called white man has for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? Alright? And they know they have a short time, okay, going to the elite banking families which want to implement their new world order. So they're going to come down heavy with this martial law very soon, when that money collapse, alright, and the more and more civil unrest and race wars break out and all hell breaks loose in the society, alright, it's gonna be bad, man. And then they gonna come down on you people with that martial law. Alright. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. The woman that brought forth the man-child is talking about the nation of Israel. Okay? Jeremiah 6:2 compares the nation of Israel to a comely and delicate woman. Okay? Alright? Okay? And that dragon is talking about the power structure of the so-called white man. So when he comes down, which he's compared to as a red dragon in the scriptures and Revelations, that's talking about the power structure of the so-called white man. Alright? They're going to come with great wrath and they're going to persecute you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is going into the time of Jacob's trouble. Alright, verse 17. Revelations 12:17, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua. Okay, in Revelations 19:10 tell you, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So them that have the testimony of Yahushua means they have the prophecies or the prophets. Okay, and them that keep the commandments, that's the insurrection upon them that fear the Lord. See how it's tying in? Okay, let's go to Revelations 3:10. Okay, all right. That's why I always say this to brothers that's thinking about coming in, or people that's, oh yeah, they seem all excited and stuff. We always advise them to really count the cost, man. Okay, because the scriptures say that the apostles were set last even unto death, appointed for death. Okay, because that's the only route that this leads to. You either gonna die, or if the Lord have mercy on you, and preserve you to see his son's second return, that's good. But to others, they gonna be martyrs and they have to be faced with death. So we already know when we watching the videos, alright, and learning, we gonna be on that blue list. But when we put on the garment, stand in front of one of these cameras out there on the highways teaching this word, we go straight from the blue to the red. Okay, which is those that's gonna be set up to be taken right when martial law is implemented and sentenced without trial, which that's part of the National Defense Authorization Act, to be totally either sent to one of these concentration camps here in the United States, or what they call black sites around the world, places like Guantanamo Bay or other parts in the world, where they're going to torture you and try to break you, and then eventually if you resist, they're going to kill you. Okay, so we already know that, and that's why I advise the newer people coming in, all right, to know what you're getting into, man. All right, this ain't no fucking this ain't no bullshit, man. This ain't no joke. Okay, and it shouldn't be taken as a joke. And those guys that's taking it as a joke, their ass is gonna get mushed out and exposed and get put to death. Okay? Nobody got time for that, man. Revelations 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. That's right. That hour of temptation is talking about the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, the time of Jacob's trouble, martial law, the famine, the pestilence, alright, race wars, the civil war, okay, alright, that's the hour of temptation, okay, which shall come upon all the world, okay, because it's not only going to be happening in the United States. When that dollar collapses, that's going to collapse all the rest of these currencies around the world, and that the currency they're going to bring in, which was going to be the one world currency, is the RFID chip. So it's going to be martial law and civil unrest, and all that happened not only here in the United States, but all over the world, but on a higher level, okay, because that's part of implementing in the New World Order, and part of the first commandment on the Georgia Guidestones is what? To reduce humanity down to 500 million, okay, from 7 billion, okay, to 500 million. So they want to kill 6.5 billion people, alright, when they implement this, and that's a lot of blood. So there's going to be a lot of death happening around the world, okay. It says to try them that dwell upon the earth, okay, and that's going to separate those that believe the Lord and them that was being a bunch of fucking hypocrites and phony ass niggas. Them niggas gonna be destroyed, okay. You scoffers gonna be destroyed, alright. You proud ass bitches that have something to say, you gonna be destroyed. You old coon ass niggas gonna be destroyed, and you gremlin ass children gonna be destroyed. They had that try to throw stones and shit and talk all that madness, blaspheming the scriptures. Y'all marked for death too. You gonna get got, okay. Verse 11. Revelations 3:11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. That's right. Okay. That's right. Luke 21:34. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. Basically, operating like these people in the world, man. You got to be careful not to get overwhelmed by the everyday bullshit that we have to deal with, alright, when we have to go amongst these people in this world, okay. They constantly dealing with surfing and which is like a hangover, and drunkenness, getting drunk all the time, okay, and being worried with the cares of this life, which is your everyday bullshit. What I'm going to eat, what I'm going to drink, what I'm going to wear, okay, how I'm going to this and that, like a woman, okay. You ain't supposed to let your mind get overcharged or anxious or develop anxiety or what these people deal with, because when that day comes, it's going to come on the people unawares, alright, like a thief in the night. Verse 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole world. The whole earth. So like, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. That's right. Okay. Ecclesiastes 9:12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, okay, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of man snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. That's right. It said evil. It says the son of man snared, talking about these heathens, okay, snared in an evil time, when it falls suddenly upon them. So these nations, 2/3 of Israel that don't take heed to this word, they gonna get caught, man. Okay, that's why I say those that's of the light and that is of the day, they're not gonna be taken off guard like those that's of the night and that's of darkness. Okay, talking about the 2/3 and these heathens, they in darkness, meaning they walk in wickedness. Okay, all right, and they don't know where they gonna stumble, what they stumble at. So they gonna be all types of bugged out. And they tell you in Zephaniah 1:17 that they should walk like blind men, or verse 16 that they should walk like blind men because they have sinned against the Lord. Okay, so they gonna be in darkness, man. All right, 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And perilous means dangerous, hazardous, okay, risky times shall come. And that's the time of Jacob's trouble. Daniel 12:1. Okay. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Which that's talking about the Israelites. Okay, it said thy people, talking about Israel, because that was Daniel, the angel speaking to Daniel. I think it was Gabriel that was speaking to Daniel, explaining these times and letting them know that Michael, the archangel, okay, because the Lord gonna give his angels charge over us, okay, all right, to protect us in those times. Okay, all right, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that is found, that shall be found written in the book. Okay, talking about the elect. Okay, Jeremiah 30, verse 1. Okay, this is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. Okay, that's why we had a book of Jeremiah. Okay, he said, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. Because if you Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans don't know, you are in captivity under the so-called white man. Alright? Okay, we still in captivity. Alright? So we in a time where the Lord is going to turn it, but prior to his turning, this time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, has to come to try all Israel, to see who's of the elect and who's of the 2/3. Okay? Let's keep reading. It says, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. It says, and these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Showing that you men, is like it said, men should be afraid. You men that think you tough guys, alright, that want to come up against us, popping shit. Like I said, you're gonna be bugging out. You're gonna be all in a total highly effeminate spirit, man. You're gonna be shown to be a bunch of pussies, bitches, cowards, alright, weaklings, alright, and strength is not built off of muscles, alright. It's strength comes from the Lord, man. Believing on Yahweh Shema Shai, who controls all things, and he promised that he gonna give strength to his elect. Okay, all right. But the strong man that trusts in his strength, he gonna be made weak. Talking about you muscle-bound niggas out there that think you on Captain, Mr. Olympian type niggas, you're going to get folded up in these days, man. Okay? Alright? You got to be strong in the spirit. Alright? Okay? Verse 7 says, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." That's right, talking about the elect. Luke 23:27. It says, "And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him." Talking about when the Lord was going to be crucified, you had men, well, you had a company of people that believed on him, and women as well, and they was crying, for him, because he was going to be crucified. "But Yahushua turned unto them, saying, Daughters of Jerusalem," talking to the women, "weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Okay, because like one brother said on one of the pages, he said women is gonna be a burden in that day. Okay, and man, I see it. You see it every day when you go out amongst the people. You see it, the pride of you women. You see it on these fucking daytime shows, or Maury and all that shit. Bitches, you be, "Oh, he cheated on me," or I'm the best thing he ever had, but you got 7 kids already from 6 different baby daddies, and you done tricked some simpleton into marrying your monkey ass, and then you get offended if he wants to, if he was talking to another woman, like you so precious and pure. That's why the Lord said, man, not weep for him, but weep for yourselves and your children, because when all hell break loose, you women are going to become a commodity, something extra. Okay? So if you're a woman, alright, a single mama or whatever, y'all should be the most humblest people on the fucking planet, man. But the Lord gonna have to bring you down. Alright? When he bring all hell on this society. You women gonna get messed up, man. It's gonna be terrible for you women. Alright? And you can listen to all these pussy begging weak ass niggas out here talking about, oh, we some faggots because we condemn you women. You women got a lot of judgment to pay for, man. It's gonna be hella bad for y'all, man. Shit. Alright? Verse 29 says, "For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps that never gave suck." Talking about the women that don't have children. Alright? And that's gonna be during the time of Jacob's trouble. You women that have all these kids by these baby daddies and stuff, alright, you gonna be completely assed out, man. Completely assed out. Nobody, no man in his right mind at that time would want to be linking up with some woman that got with the woman that lived in the shoe with the 20,000 kids, man. Nobody don't want to deal with that. The babies crying and women all bugged out and crying because they don't know what the hell's going on. I'm hungry. Y'all just gonna get shitted on, man. But that's part of you reaping what you sow. Alright? But to the women that's single, that don't have no kids, it's gonna be a blessing counted unto them when all hell break loose, man. A man will be probably willing to deal with a woman like that than to deal with a woman that got 5 kids or plus. Alright? That's unruly, man. So that's why the Lord said, woe unto you, man. Alright, it's going to be saying, blessed are the barren, and the womb that never bare, and the paps that never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in a dry? That's right. And that's going into what, 70 AD, when the Romans, under Vespasius and his son Titus, when they took down the Jews, alright, in 70 AD, and destroyed the temple in Jerusalem and pillaged it, alright, they besieged the city, alright, and had you people starve out, and you women resorted to cannibalism. And a lot of you women gonna eat your children, alright, in these days due to the same scenario. Okay. Let me. I might have to pause it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay. And Lord willing. Now let me get one more. Finish up this point about martial law, and then Lord willing, I'll do second part going into Jacob's trouble, focusing more on what the chip and the time where those that's not of the elect, or those that's not in the truth, they're gonna become your enemies. All right. And like the Lord said, your enemies shall be them of your own household. Meaning what? Israelites and which don't believe. And even these ones that claim they believe, but they don't really believe, because they're going to fold in that time of testing, the time of temptation, when persecution and affliction and tribulation come upon them. They're going to get offended, they're going to fall away, or they're going to immediately they're going to denounce, man, and then they're going to turn, and then they're going to go for the brothers that's in the truth. So that's going to be part of the next lesson that's coming up. Alright, well, let me finish this point with this portion right here. Alright, Luke 19 and 41. It says, and when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, talking about the Lord, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belongeth unto thy peace, talking about this truth, but now they are hid from thine eyes. Going in about the 2/3, the scriptures say you in, like I said, Zephaniah 1 and 16, 17, that men shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. So they're going to be in complete darkness like a blind person. They ain't going to know what's going on. And they're going to be taken. Okay, like the scripture said, like a snare. They're going to get taken in that time. Okay. Verse 43, it says, for the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. Going into martial law. And shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knowest not the time of thine visitation. Now that was going in about what? 70 AD, which the Lord gave Israel signs, or warned them about the Romans coming and taking them and destroying the temple. He gave them the similitude of the abomination that make desolate, which was spoken about Daniel. That would be part of the next lesson that we go into, highlighting scenes from that time period, with the time of the Maccabees, when the Antiochus Epiphanes try to establish what these elite bankers want to establish, which is basically a new world order, and to persecute the Israelites, either convert them into his way of living, alright, to be a willing slave under him, or to destroy them that rebelled. Alright, so we're going to touch on that in the next lesson. Alright, but that scripture, it was fulfilled during the time of 70 AD, but it's going to be fulfilled again, alright, in these times to come, when they bring in martial law, when they compass the city with the enemy's army, alright, to besiege the people, to lay siege upon them, alright, basically lock them in their respectable areas, where they're going to barricade the people into the cities where they can't go in and out, and then they just going to lay you people flat, okay, meaning they going to destroy you. Talking about you Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, those that's of the 2/3, okay. So with that, Lord willing, it was long, but Lord willing, it was edifying, and Lord willing, I'll go into about the time where the chip is going to be pushing, and they're going to be dealing with the time of persecution against the believers. Alright, in the next lesson. So with that, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh Shemal Shai. Double honors to those great millstone taught me this truth. Shalom to the true Akim out there pushing the truth and sincerity. Alright, and shalom to the believers. Alright, that's taking this serious, you men and you women. Alright, and to the scoffers, death and destruction to you. Alright, and with that, Brother Ataz Warm, you're saying shalom.